Legends and Super Legends. Welcome to Veloharmony. Eldred here. I decided to do a video today. It's Sunday because the group ride video is going to be delayed by 24 hours this week because we just rode today. We didn't ride on Saturday. And in post, it takes a full evening to get all the metrics formatted and everything. So it's currently being processed. So I wanted to take this opportunity to address an issue that's on the list. One of our legends, new legends named Sheila Pinckney, she came by a little while ago and she watched the video. She was very happy about it and thanked me for the video. But she said that she was a new rider and she didn't know about, she phrased it as clipless shoes. And so what I want to talk about today is Clipless Pedals, Friend or Foe. That's really the title I'm going to use. Why do they call them clipless if we're clipping in? Ever wonder about that? The reason they're called clipless is because back in the day, like I think up until the late 80s, people rode bicycles attached with toe clips on their shoes. There was a cage that you slipped your feet into and you pulled the strap, the toe strap, to keep you in there. And I think about late 80s, early 90s, Look was one of the first pioneers of the clipless pedals. That's why they're called clipless, because you don't have a toe clip like a muzzle over the shoe and you pull in a strap. That's the reason they're called that. Sheila's concern was she felt like she would fall or she would be at risk of falling wearing shoes like these where you clip in. And I wanted to dispel that myth. These shoes are not going to cause you to fall. These shoes actually are designed, when you clip in, they're designed to disengage if you do fall. They don't cause you to fall. Now, with that premise in mind, I'm one of the people that when I got into cycling early on, before I started racing, I clipped into the pedals and forgot I was clipped in. I got to a stoplight. I was decked out. My bike was yellow. I had yellow kit, black shorts, white socks, black shoes, yellow helmet. Just looked the business. Got to the stoplight, forgot I was clipped in, and just toppled over. And so it was very embarrassing. So, I got up, dusted myself off, got back on the bike and took off. But that's the key. If you have not used clipless pedals before, that's the first thing that happens. You forget that you're clipped in. And so as the bike slows down, you don't unclip. So what are the pros of having the pros and cons? Let's put it that way. I don't see a whole lot of cons because I can't remember riding a bicycle without toe clips except when I was maybe 8, 9, 10 years old. By the time I got above 12, I wanted to be attached to the bike because I was serious about it. Back then we called them 10-speed, 10-speed bicycle. That's pretty much what you had. But the cruisers that are around, people still ride bikes and they're not clipped in. From time to time, I'll ride a bike, like if I'm testing somebody's bike that I worked on and I won't be clipped in. It feels awkward to me. I prefer to be clipped in because I can engage the muscles in the back of my legs. And I prefer to always be attached to the bike. It's just more efficient, it's more ergonomic all around. And the biggest thing is if you try to spin and you're not clipped in and your foot slips, that pedal's coming around to smack you in the shin. So keep that in mind. And those are pros. So I guess the con would be if you forget to unclip, you can fall when you stop. The second thing would be if your pedal tension is too high. There are some manufacturers like Look that sell 16 Newton meters and 14 Newton meters preset tension that you can't adjust. And depending on what you prefer, that may be an issue. I use Shimano Dura Ace 9000 pedals and they have an adjustable screw And the first thing I do when I get the pedals is I back it all the way to where it's completely loose and then I tighten only 3 clicks because it clicks. I like my pedal tension loose. There is no reason for you to be locked into the pedal. If your form is good, you're not going to unclip unintentionally, because you unclip when you do this with your foot or this with your foot. That unclips you. And that's what I wanted to cover today, because you can unclip just as quickly as you can lift your foot off of a pedal that you're not attached to. And I wanted to specify that so that Sheila and other new riders would begin to understand that there's nothing that will cause you to fall because of you being clipped into the bicycle. In fact, I think you have more control over the bike when you're clipped in. That's the only way I know how to ride. I've been riding for 20 something years seriously, and that's all I do. I clip in. You know, any kind of bike I get, I want to be clipped in somehow, some attachment to the pedal. Whether it's a mountain bike or a road bike, I want to be attached to the pedal. So don't look at clipless pedals as things that cause you to fall. When you do fall, it will be because of you hit a pothole or something else. You're not going to remain attached to the bike most of the time, because as you twist, the twisting motion releases your feet. And so you basically separate from the bike. If you watch any of the pro races, when they have these crashes, every now and then 1 or 2 riders may still be attached, depending on how they fell, if their foot didn't twist. But the action is when you clip in, you get the front of the cleat in the pedal, you just step down. You don't need to put a lot of pressure. And to get out of the pedal, you just twist your foot left or in. It's better to twist this way than towards the bike. It's just easier, it's more natural. So I twist like this to get out. You can get out with either foot when you stop at a light. I choose to use my non-dominant leg most of the time. I like to unclip with my non-dominant leg and take off with my dominant leg, push off. So I'm gonna get on the bike and just illustrate that a little bit and just dispel the myths. Post your comments and questions below if I've missed anything, but that's what I wanted to do. So the group ride video will be coming out sometime early Tuesday. That's the hope, because I need a full day to process everything. It just takes a while to get all the metrics on the overlay. So, let me move this. So I'm gonna get on the bike here. So for those of you who've never used clipless pedals, you put the nose of the pedal, the cleat in the pedal, and it just snaps in. And my tension is so light that I'm not locked in. To release from the pedal, see that? I'm out. It's about the same effort it would take you to lift your foot off of a non-clipped in pedal. I just twist, it comes off. I keep my tension very light. I don't like it tight. Some people do, and that's fine. It's not the tension that keeps you attached to the pedal, it is your form. If you're smooth, you're not gonna unclip. And I just cannot see how anyone can pedal high cadences if they're not attached to the pedal. That's the proof, that's the biggest thing. And so when you stand and you wanna pull up, being attached makes a big difference, like that. And when you're riding and you wanna spin and pull back and kick over, you need to be attached. And I think that was one of the videos that Sheila watched, the pedaling, optimal pedaling video, I think. And that's what she said. She didn't know if she was ready for pedals where you clip in. When you do decide you want to get pedals where you clip in, you need to practice. Practice on your trainer, practice before you get out there. Make sure you're comfortable getting out and getting back in. And the key is that when you stop and you push off, say for an intersection, you want to have one foot clipped in all the time. So you use that at 2 o'clock to push off when you're starting off. Once you push off and the bike starts to roll and you sit, then you look for this pedal. I don't even look down anymore. I know it's there. You can see the pedal. As I move my foot, the pedal just rolls with me. You have to practice that. I practice that all the time. It's not a natural thing. I don't care how long you've been riding clipless pedals. If you never practice clipping in, it will still take you some time when you take off from an intersection. And then if you're riding with a group, you can get gapped. And I've talked about it in some of the videos, the group rides that I've done, the videos. So you have to practice. I still practice my clipping in because I want it to be one action. After a while, you'll be able to unclip without looking at the pedal and clip in just like I just did. So when you're at an intersection and you stop, let me put it in my heavy gear, move my leg, put it in a heavy gear. You're at an intersection and you stop, and the light changes. You push off, like that. Second nature. Because the pedal is not going anywhere. The key is that you're at 2 o'clock when you push off. So as you push down, that pedal comes up. When it's here, that's when you want to get this foot. And this foot just, the tip of the shoe kind of just moves. You can see how it moves the pedal. And then you just clip in. Because you have to get the tip, the front of the cleat in the pedal before you get the rear in there. And it just pops in. I'm not even putting any pressure. That sound you hear is just gravity. When I get that front part in there, gravity just clips it in. So you don't want to be pushing down, because if you push down too hard and you miss that pedal or you don't clip in correctly, the pedal can spin around and smack you. So you don't want to be, it can come around like that. So you don't want to be putting a lot of force when you're trying to get in. You shouldn't have to. That's the only thing. And it's even when, even for bikes where you're not clipped in, you don't want to put a lot of pressure on the pedal trying to get on there, and then you miss it. It will come around and smack you. And that's painful. That's smart. So that's what I want to cover today on this thing with Clipless Pedals. So feel free to add your experiences and your comments and questions. And stay tuned for the group ride video that's coming up on Tuesday morning.